Welcome to Half the Legs, Twice the Laughs, the podcast where we tackle life after limb loss. One awkward, hilarious, painful, and occasionally inspiring story at a time. I'm Alex, your one-legged wonder of sarcasm and snacks.
And I'm Jamie. Still have both legs, but honestly, Alex makes me look like I'm slacking at life. I'm here to ask the questions, crack-wise, and try not to gag at the gross parts.
Oh, speaking of gross, we're kicking off episode 1 with a little thing I like to call the Canal Chronicles.
This is the part where I should warn listeners. If you're eating lunch, maybe hit pause and come back. Or live dangerously. Up to you.
So, after my below-the-knee amputation, everything was healing decently at first. Then, bam, infection. And not the cute kind.
Wait, what's the cute kind of infection?
Like when it's small and makes you sneeze. Not when your leg develops a full-blown drainage canal like some kind of haunted meat tunnel.
Haunted meat tunnel. Put that on a t-shirt.
I should. So here's what happened. They took the staples out of a portion of the incision so the infection could drain. Sounds simple, right? But no. Suddenly my leg looked like it had a built-in water slide. Except instead of water, it was pus. So much pus.
Why do I do this podcast with you again?
Because I bring emotional depth and disgusting visuals. You're welcome.
So, let's get serious for a second. What was that like for you emotionally? I mean, you go through the trauma of losing a leg, and then you don't even get a smooth recovery?
Yeah, that part sucked. It felt like insult to injury, literally. I was already trying to wrap my head around this massive life change, and now I've got a hole in my leg that won't close. Weeks of wound care, nurses packing the canal daily, and the fear that something else might go wrong.
Did it make you feel hopeless?
Sometimes, yeah, it's like people act like once the leg's gone, that's the hard part. But the healing part, that's the long haul. Your mind starts to go to some dark places, especially when you're sitting on your couch, leg elevated, smelling like a hospital, wondering if this is your life now.
Hey, Alex, I feel like we jumped ahead. Can we rewind a bit? Like, what actually happened? How did you end up here? Well, half here.
Oh man, yeah. That's a story. It starts on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Everyone knows the day, but holiday isn't the word I'd use.
Not a fan of overpriced chocolates and awkward couple selfies?
That day didn't just ruin a date, it split my life into two eras, BL and AL, before legs and after legs.
That's darkly efficient.
Yeah. So I was with this girl. I really liked her. We weren't putting labels on it yet, but I had planned this beautiful day. I thought we were finally turning a corner, like something real was happening.
Romantic Alex. I like this version.
Well, it didn't last. Her ex-boyfriend found us, followed us through town, eventually ambushed us and just ruined the whole thing. All of it.
Damn, that's terrifying.
Yeah. And I didn't know how to process that anger and disappointment. So I turned to alcohol. Dumb move. But it felt like the only move at the time.
That kind of emotional spiral, it's real. People don't talk about how fast it hits.
Exactly. So I went out to my car, parked, drank, and passed out.
Like, for the night?
For 3 days. I woke up in that car 72 hours later because I had to pee so bad I thought my bladder would explode.
3 days?
Yup. I'd been passed out in my car through freezing February nights. My legs were so frostbitten the doctors later told me there was no way I should have been able to stand, let alone walk.
But you did.
I did. Somehow I stumbled into a nearby store. That walk, as insane as it sounds, saved my life. The frostbite didn't kill me, but it got damn close.
That's unreal, like body on autopilot.
Totally. The next day, I got transferred to another hospital. I was still kind of out of it, and the first person I saw was my mom. She leans over me and says, "Do you know who I am?"
And you're like,
I'm groggy, frustrated, and confused. I say, "Yeah, Mom."
classic.
Then she hits me with it. Well, look, you have two options right now. The doctors can either cut off your legs and save your life, or you're going to die.
Whoa.
Yeah, that moment doesn't leave you. And obviously, I chose to live, which is how we got here.
To AL Afterlegs.
Exactly. Welcome to AL,
And an amazing new career in podcasting.
because if you're going to lose your legs, you might as well get a good mic and talk about it.
Were you ever mad? At the situation, the doctors, yourself?
Oh, all of the above. Mad, sad, numb, everything. I hated the phrase, "you're so strong," because half the time, I felt like I was one stub away from a meltdown.
That's real, though. I think people throw that phrase around because they don't know what else to say.
Exactly. But honestly, what helped the most wasn't motivational quotes. It was laughter, and sometimes just letting myself feel like crap without trying to fix it right away.
Speaking of laughter, you were telling me about the food at the hospital the other day. How bad was it?
Oh man. Imagine if depression had a flavor. Now microwave that flavor, let it sit out for 20 minutes, and then call it turkey tetrazzini.
Sounds like a Michelin-starred disaster.
And here's the kicker. I was on double portions
Wait, what? Why?
because apparently protein helps healing. So they looked at my medical chart and said, let's give this guy 2 servings of sadness.
Double depression. Extra steamed.
Exactly. Breakfast, 2 plates of beige. Lunch, 2 trays of regret. Dinner, same thing, just colder.
So they were trying to rebuild you from the inside out with cardboard and misery.
That's honestly what it felt like. I started naming the meals. One night I called it boiled disappointment over rice.
Did you at least get options? Like a menu?
Yeah, but every item somehow managed to taste like the same thing. Hospital.
That's a flavor now?
It is in AL. After legs, everything has new meaning, including flavor profiles.
Coming soon to a restaurant near you, Amputee tasting menu. Includes double helpings of existential dread.
Paired with a nice broth-based anxiety.
You were healing physically, but you also had to emotionally grieve. People don't realize it's like a funeral for the old version of you.
Yeah, I miss that guy. He could dance better.
Did you just admit you used to dance?
Okay, sway awkwardly is more accurate. But still, I had rhythm. Now I've got rubber feet and a lot of free time.
Let's rewind a bit. What was it like being in the hospital right after the surgery?
Lonely. Honestly, some of the longest days of my life, especially the ones without visitors. I'd just lie there, watching the clock barely move, like time decided it was taking a vacation too.
Did you have anything to pass the time?
Barely. The hospital TV had like 5 channels, and 3 of them were static. So I ended up binging HGTV, House Hunters, Love It or List It, even Property Brothers. I started judging renovations like I was some kind of suburban contractor.
So while other people were worried about you, you were worried about open floor plans and shiplap.
Exactly. And don't even get me started on their budgets. We're both freelance ukulele players, and our budget is $900,000. I was like, what world are these people living in?
Okay, but did you ever root for them to list it out of spite?
Oh, 100%. Especially when someone complained about closet space. Meanwhile, I've got a leg stitched up like Frankenstein's monster, and they're mad their kitchen isn't open enough.
So when did you get relief from the HGTV prison?
When someone finally brought me my tablet, that thing was a lifesaver. I binged Brooklyn Nine-Nine, watched Bob's Burgers, even cried a little during This Is Us. Streaming brought me back to life. Seriously, in that moment, Netflix was my therapist, and Hulu was my best friend.
That needs to go on a coffee mug.
Already in my Etsy cart.
Okay, switching gears a bit. What about the people who came to visit? That had to be complicated?
Yeah, visitors were this weird mix of comforting and exhausting. Some people came in like they were storming a Hallmark movie set, talking about miracles and positive energy, and how everything happens for a reason.
Oof, that's the worst kind of optimism.
It is. But I smiled through it, mostly because I didn't have the energy to explain how none of that made sense when you're peeing in a jar and pooping in a pan, because you can't even transfer yourself to a wheelchair yet.
Damn, that's raw.
It was. You lose a lot of dignity early on. One day, my cousin came by, a really sweet guy, wanted to help, brought me a snack, trail mix.
Okay, well intentioned.
Totally. But after everyone left and the room was quiet again, I just stared at the bag. Trail mix. Something you eat when you're outside, walking, moving.
And you couldn't even get to the bathroom.
Exactly. I sat there holding that stupid bag, realizing how far away all of that felt. Like it was from another life. It hit me hard. This wasn't just about losing my legs. It was about losing the life I thought I had.
Did you eat it?
Eventually. But not right away. I needed a minute. That little bag of nuts and raisins had more emotional weight than it had any right to.
It's crazy how something so small can bring everything into focus.
Yeah. It reminded me that healing isn't just physical, it's grieving too, for all the little things that used to be normal.
Jamie, that's real. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course, it's part of the story.
So, where are you now in the healing process?
Physically, the canal finally closed, thank God. I still get phantom pain and my balance is trash. Emotionally, I'm rebuilding. I've accepted the loss, but I'm also finding new ways to live. Better ways, even.
You've been real open about the dark stuff, but can we talk about the weird perks too?
Like getting priority boarding on flights?
Or how your Halloween costume options have gone next level?
Oh, for sure. Last year I was a zombie with a leg stump full of candy. Trick or treat, baby.
I feel like your humor is your prosthetic emotional leg.
I'll allow it. And it's got adjustable height.
Before we wrap, what advice would you give someone freshly facing amputation?
Feel your feelings. Don't rush healing. It's okay to hate it some days. Just don't stay in the hate. Reach out. Find your people. Laugh when you can. And remember, you're not broken. You're just updated.
Version 2.0.
Exactly.
Thanks for tuning in to Half the Legs, Twice the Laughs. If you liked today's episode, subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a review, unless you're a troll, in which case go stub your toe.
Catch you next time. And remember, life might have taken a leg, but it can't take your punchlines.